this category, a competitor must perform a speech written by themselves. The speech is usually persuasive in nature and may or may not be on a controversial issue, but ultimately it is up to the competitor. Now, please help me welcome Charlie Vaca, performing his speech.
I remember one of the first experiences I had with money. I was 4 years old walking home from school until suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I see something green. It was a piece of candy. So I did what any 4-year-old would do. I ate it. Right next to it was a piece of paper that changed my life. It was a $20 bill, so I picked it up. I instinctively looked over to my mother and demanded to go to Toys R Us that very moment. 20 minutes later, we're at the front of the store, and I had $20. I thought I was rich, and for me, the sky was the limit. So I grabbed a cart, and I walked aisle by aisle by aisle, picking up every single toy that I wanted. SpongeBob, it went in the cart. Power Rangers, it went in the cart. Barbie on vacation with Ken. Don't judge me. It went in the cart. 45 minutes later, I finally decided to head over to the register with all 5 of my shopping carts. And that's where my mother decided to tell me the most heartbreaking thing any kid can hear at Toys R Us. Charlie, you can't afford all these toys. As it turned out, the sky wasn't the limit. Far from it. In fact, the limit was so low, I was crushed. As a 4-year-old, I didn't understand the value of money. I didn't know that I could save it to buy something better. I guess you can say I was financially illiterate, but most 4-year-olds are. As we grow older, we're supposed to learn about money, how to earn it, use it, and save it responsibly. However, the key word in that statement is supposed to. According to the American Journal of Business, 68% of high school students are considered financially illiterate, which means that most high school students are making the financial decisions they need to be making in order to secure their financial futures. Financial literacy has become a widespread epidemic across the United States, and it needs to stop. So today, let's understand why we're financially illiterate in the first place. Then, understand the consequences this problem has had in our country, in our past, and will have in our future. So we can finally create some solutions that we can all use to further ourselves and our education. In order to better understand why we're financially illiterate, we have to break this problem up into stages. Stage 1, lack of education. According to economist Henry Kaufman, teaching high school students about personal finance is not a priority despite our current economic crisis. Schools today have many different priorities, like their budgets. At both the state and federal level, how much money a school gets is determined by how well they do on standardized tests. So schools are choosing to only focus in on the very core subjects, math, English, and science. But they leave out other very important subjects, like personal finance, completely out of the curriculum. As a result, only 13 states in our country require a personal finance course in order to graduate. And most high school seniors taking the National Financial Literacy exam cannot even answer half the questions on the test. And that leads us into stage 2, trial and error. Since most high school students don't receive a formal education when it comes to personal finance, we're often forced to learn on our own. A great example can be seen in credit cards. Now, when we turn 18, many of us will want to, get our first credit card. But most of us won't understand how they work. But we'll choose to get one anyway. Now, I'm not saying that credit cards are a bad thing. But what I am saying, when we don't truly understand what we're trying to do, or how something works that we're trying to use, the chances of us succeeding are very, very low. Stage 3, we pick up bad habits. Many people will become narrow-minded on the present, and very rarely will ever think on the long term. Think about it. On payday, most often, you're going to choose to spend that money almost immediately on something like a video game or a new part for your car. Very rarely will you ever stop and think, maybe I should save it for a rainy day. And lastly, we're not learning from our mistakes. Due to our lack of knowledge when it comes to personal finance, Real kids are becoming to enter the real world without the knowledge they need. And that's opening doors for others to take full advantage of. In fact, that's what happened in 2005. In 2005, there were hundreds of thousands of people all eager to own their part in the American dream, to own a house. But many of them couldn't afford them. So the banks came up with a great solution to sell some homes. They decided to offer these people the mortgages at a very low interest rate. Many people thought they were looking at a golden opportunity to own a home. So they signed the dotted line. But just months after entering their contracts, they began to realize something. The low interest rates began to exponentially increase to the point where many people could no longer afford the homes they just bought a few months before. In a last effort to salvage some of the money they put into their homes, they decided to sell the houses. And so many homes went back into the housing market in such a short time frame, the whole market collapsed. And it was that very chain reaction that led us right into the 2007 global recession. A whole economic catastrophe could have been easily averted had most people understood the concept of variable interest, the most basic vocabulary word in any personal finance course. The other consequences can be seen when it comes to retirement. Now, how many of us are thinking about retirement? Anybody? That's what I thought. Retirement! It's 45 years into our futures. We have plenty of time, right? Well, the reality is that we don't. According to CNN Money, the average 18-year-old today needs approximately $1.2 million in order to secure their retirement. $1.2 million? That's a lot of money. So just imagine what would happen if you don't start saving for retirement today. Luckily, in order to truly understand the consequences, we don't have to wait till we're 65. We can just look at the National Football League today. In 2006, NCAA quarterback Vince Young was one of the most widely anticipated quarterbacks to ever enter the National Football League. He was drafted number 3 in his draft class and was offered as a rookie a $25.1 million contract. Pretty good for a rookie. But unfortunately, Vince Young wasn't the quarterback that we all thought he was. He ended up playing only 4 years in the league. However, he did make $25 million. He should be set for life. Or at least he would think. In early 2012, Vince Young filed for bankruptcy. And the sad part is, Vince Young isn't the exception or a lone statistic. Vince Young is the rule. According to Sports Illustrated, 78% of all people to have ever played in the National Football League go bankrupt. These are people who had it all, right at the fingertips, and now have absolutely nothing. Luckily for us, we can fix a problem. Step 1, remedy our education. We go to school just to learn most skills we need for life, from our basic social skills to math, English, and science. So we have to start implementing some knowledge of personal finance in schools. Giving us the knowledge to make a lot of money and be successful in life without an education of personal finance is much like writing with a broken pencil. Pointless. So we have to begin implementing personal finance today. But if schools won't teach it to us, we're in luck, because we have the opportunity to live in the 21st century. So next time you're at a bus stop and you have 5 minutes to kill, pull out your phone and search up my credit card book. Or maybe you're on a 15-minute break at work and you have some time to kill, pull out your phone and search up how mortgages work. Over time, we can acquire our own personal knowledge when it comes to money. Step 2, remedy our habits. Like I said before, many people become narrow-minded on the present and very rarely ever think on the long term. You have to flip that. Instead of thinking in the here and now, let's take a step back and think about tomorrow. So next time it's payday, instead of wasting your money on a video game, stop and think. Could this money be useful for me some other day? And step 3, take the knowledge you have and spread it to other people. If for kids or younger brothers or younger cousins, when we're older, to maybe even our kids. Economist Henry Kaufman has this great way of teaching kids about money. Next time you're at a restaurant or a store, give your kid, cousin, or little brother $5. Give them a choice between a $1 water or a $4 soda. and tell them that they can keep the change. Henry Coffin believes that this exercise teaches the kids the value of money and how to save it. So, spread it. I remember that day at that toy store like it was yesterday. And I remember how heartbroken I was when I couldn't buy that doll, Power Ranger toy that I really wanted. Ever since that day, I have made every single effort to learn everything I can about money. How to earn it, use it, and save it responsibly. So that one day, the sky is the limit.